Hello, and welcome to the CIRSGroup.com podcast, show, episode, thing. I am Barbara.
And I'm Jacie.
And today we wanted to tackle, by member request, actually, one of our members in the CIRS group requested this topic to be covered, weight loss or the inability thereof and CIRS. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
This was a fun rabbit hole for me to go down. When we talk about CIRS, it's such a multi-system, multi-symptom illness. We know that the downstream impact is so profound. And so it's kind of a choose your own adventure of why maybe you can't lose weight when you have CIRS. There's just so many things working against you. And I think the key takeaway here is that for people who have CIRS, just eating less and exercising more may not be the answer. It truly maybe you have to address the root cause problem, the CIRS, in order to be able to lose weight.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things potentially going wrong in your body. Your body's not going to prioritize like losing weight or anything else, building muscle, like forget about it. I mean, I know with me and for my CIRS situation, I was so low in testosterone and DHEA. Like I was able to work out. I did have the energy and the ability to work out while dealing with CIRS. However, I got almost no muscle gain like for a year. And so that was yet another indicator of me thinking, well, yeah, there's a problem here. And eventually, of course, finding CIRS. So yeah. Shall we, I guess, go down all of the possible things that that CIRS might screw up in the world of losing weight?
Yeah, I think it would be hard to go over all the possible ones, but we'll
Sure.
go over some of them.
Yeah.
Um, a really big one is leptin resistance, and this is kind of a hot topic in the carnivore community right now. So leptin is a hormone that is produced by your pituitary gland, and it's the satiety hormone. So your adipose tissues actually secrete leptin, and it's supposed to tell your body that you're full. And you have leptin receptors in your hypothalamus, but inflammatory cytokines, which are proteins that are released as an immune response to the biotoxins, actually attach to the leptin receptors in your brain. So even if you're producing leptin, your body doesn't understand the satiety signal. And that's what leptin resistance is, and how it kind of plays a role in the CIRS environment is you have those inflammatory cytokines blocking those receptors.
Wow. Yeah. So the inflammation itself is actually making your body not communicate with itself properly. And so you don't really get that signal that you're full.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a really good summary.
I am the Laura to your Judy, and I am embracing that fully right now. That was a cutting against the grain reference for anybody who doesn't know, which I'm sure anyone listening to us probably does. But yeah, that's yeah, that makes sense to me. And then another major thing is just having low MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. So having low MSH is will give you a reduced ability, sorry, to mobilize fat stores. So that's I mean, almost everybody who has CIRS has low MSH, right? Like that's such a common blood marker that's one of the main ones to test really to confirm that you have it. So
Yeah. And low MSH is it's the thing that causes so many downstream problems with CIRS. It's associated with so many things, like, for example, sleep disturbances, GI issues. So it's so multifaceted, but part of that is making it difficult to mobilize those fat stores.
right. Yep, that makes sense. And then what's going on with the electrolytes and it just is like fluid retention. So if you're just kind of puffy, that's another possible thing that CIRS is causing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like inflammation, edema, when you have that electrolyte imbalance, which with CIRS, we know that people tend to have um, imbalances to their antidiuretic hormone and osmolality, meaning that they can have just chronic electrolyte imbalances that are really hard to manage. And with that, you can have rapid weight gain from the fluid retention. So it's weight gain, not fat gain in that case.
Mm.
But I think a lot of people will see, like, in their face, like you can see when they're inflamed because they're just holding on to so much water.
Right. And I mean, I know that everybody's affected differently, of course. So I was able to lose when I first went carnivore. I probably lost, I want to say like 15 pounds or so of what seemed to be water weight when I first went carnivore. So it is possible to still like lose some of that like obviously going carnivore, we've said it many times, is still a fantastic foundation for anyone dealing with CIRS, because you do eliminate a lot of problems that a terrible diet can cause. So that just to say that, so you can like, I guess my point is I still was able to lose some of that fluid, the fluid retention that was going on for me, and yet I was still suffering with CIRS, and discovered that well over a year later. But yeah, that's interesting to know. And of course, the whole imbalanced electrolytes can cause all kinds of fun stuff, like the static shock and muscle cramps. Um, Anything else?
Yeah, frequent thirst, frequent
Oh yeah.
urination. I would always wake up at like 4 a.m. And it's funny because in the carnivore community, at least, people are like, oh, that's when your blood sugar crashes during the night. And it's like, well, no, maybe I'll have SIRS. Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't, who knows?
Yep.
Might as
Yeah.
well test.
Anytime someone can't sleep through the night because they have to pee, my little like my CIRS radar goes off.
Boop,
And
boop.
um what what exactly is what is the thyroid? What role does that play in all of this? Now I'm just asking about your own outline.
Yeah, so SIRS we know can impact thyroid function over time. It's just I think when you have that much inflammation in your body for that long, it's really hard for all of your like any of your body processes to work correctly. And so one of the things that is impacted is your thyroid. And so that can manifest as hypothyroidism or even trigger autoimmune conditions like Hashimoto's. So anytime someone has an autoimmune condition, that sets off my SIRS radar of like, okay, but what triggered that autoimmune condition? Because you most people don't have autoimmune conditions that manifest from what the time they were a baby. Most of us are experiencing this as we go into or as we're in adulthood. And so the question is like, okay, well, why now? And I think the answer might be SIRS.
Yep. That's quite often our answer. But yes, completely agree. And then another possible cause for weight gain, or I should say maybe lack of the ability to lose weight, is something that you experienced, which is just like your terrible joint pain. You just weren't able to move as much, right? During the worst part of your CIRS battle.
Yeah. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know my story, 2 months before I started having SIRS symptoms, I had just finished prep for a bikini competition. So I was working out a lot and I was moving a lot. And so to suddenly have my mobility so restricted was very difficult for me, not only in the sense of like it was physically painful, but it also took away this huge aspect of my life. And I think when we're talking about SIRS people and we have endorphin issues and dopamine issues, and then you take away another you know, method that they could use to try and buffer their endorphins through working out. It's just like feels like you don't have a chance.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, that was painful to see, because you always loved working out, and to have that switch off just from pain and from just the fatigue and all the other fun stuff that comes with CIRS. I'm glad we understand now, but it was crazy to see at the time, like, what the heck. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like that covers like most of the main possible cause, the things that are contributing, the things that CIRS does that contributes to you not being able to lose weight. That's that I feel like that's we covered most of the major ones, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that there's like other things that can contribute, definitely like the chronic fatigue that you experience with SIRS or the muscle cramps. It's like, why would you do anything that would help you get more of those? The ice pick pains for some people, sometimes it's not chronic pain like mine was. Sometimes it's just a stabbing pain when you try and move. So it's so multifaceted in
Mm.
terms of how SIRS can really impact your ability to lose weight.
Yeah. And so the real, I guess, a takeaway to get to here with all of this is, weight loss will come after healing. You know,
Mm.
if that's something, if that's your big like motivator right now, as hard as it is, sometimes it's, you just have to set it aside and focus completely on your health, your healing, taking care of yourself, going through treatment, getting enough sleep, just supporting your body through all of the things it needs to do to rectify the situation. And once that gets fixed and you get towards the end of the treatment, I think that's when you can start to adjust your focus and look at actually losing weight, and maybe some of those normal things like move more and eat less and whatever else might work a little bit better for you at that time. So I would just encourage anybody struggling with that to be patient, as hard as that is, and to get to the end of the treatment before you start worrying too much about all of this fun stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And like when we talk about the protocol order, it's set up the way it is so it's as efficient as possible, right? You take the binders so that you can raise your MSH so that the GI healing makes sense and you can actually heal your GI. And when we're talking about weight loss, it really doesn't make sense to try and lose weight when it's the most difficult time for you to do that. Like
Right.
wait till you're done with the protocol, to your point, like wait until you can, it's on easy mode. Wait till you can live life on easy mode and then do it.
Yep, exactly. So I hope this episode was helpful for anyone worried about weight loss and dealing with CIRS. For more information and support and love and all the other good stuff, go to the cirsgroup.com and join and be one of our members.
Yeah, we'll see you over there.
All right. See you then.